let's do our check-in with Jimmy. Jimmy is now driving a white bus. That schoolwork really paid off for him. Uh, so, a little bit of TMI going on here. Tuesday is brought up, but not really important to the question since they only ask about Monday and Wednesday. TMI is very common, too much information. I don't need that Tuesday, so I chuck that. Who cares? Looks like we drove 13 on Monday, 15 on Wednesday, and those are those partial answers. Yes, they are answers of some work I had to do to get to the final answer, but they are not the answer I'm looking for. Since it asked for the average, I'm going to keep figuring, add the two together, divide by 2, and get 14. So that's what we're talking about with these partial answers. Jimmy kind of on the move here. He's now in charge of our money. So 60 miles an hour for 3 hours and 70 miles an hour for 3 hours are 180 and 210. Those are our partial answers. They asked how many fewer miles. They did not ask how many we're going to go now or how many we used to go in 3 hours. It's how many fewer. So you'll notice C and E are our partial answers, 180 and 210. That's not exactly what they asked. Since they asked how many fewer, my answer is B, 30. 195 is kind of the trick one here. It looks like that's what it would be if they asked me for the average. This is not the average. It wants how many fewer miles. So they're trying to catch you off guard there with a little bit of wordplay as well. All right, Jimmy, man, I wonder where Jimmy's going to end up by the end of this whole thing. Looks like he's getting into more and more power. Very interesting. So, bunch of calculations here before I can finally answer. 1.25 inches times 20 map miles would give me 25 miles. Now, C looks like a good answer. However, that's not going to cut it. That's not the question. Final question was minutes, not miles. So I now know that from Pekin to Dunlap, it's 25 miles approximately. I'm going to keep figuring. I know that distance equals rate times time, or distance divided by rate is time. So plugging in my 25 miles at 40 miles an hour, that gives me a total of 5/8 of an hour, which is answer A. Again, that's not exactly what we're looking for. 5/8 of an hour is not in minutes. I need to get that down to minutes. So a little stoichiometry here. 5/8 times 60 minutes would be 37.5 minutes, so my answer is D. So be very careful when you're working through problems. Make sure you reread the final question, especially when you make several calculations.